Okay, subscribed by my watch. My name is Arun Mittal. I'm part of the initiative that you've come in here for National Program on Career Awareness. And a little background of mine, I am a management graduate, passed out in 2000 with close to around 20, 22 years of work experience. Uh, Enjoy interacting with the students. I find career, the whole business of being in career is extremely exciting. Uh, to give you the basic ground rules first, all of you have been put on mute by default. We would open up, give some of you an access to speak towards the end of the session, subject to availability of time. Uh, if you have any questions or if you need any support, put it in the help desk. And if you have any questions, you can type in the Q&A section. Uh, I would look at these questions towards the end of the session. So please don't expect any instant responses from me, right? Uh, However, we'll try and take as many as we can towards the end of the program. Am I clear and audible to all of you? If yes, please type yes. I would also request you keep a pen and paper handy. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, got confirmations. Yeah. Just to get to understand all of you, I will have a quick 2 questions and I want you to respond to the poll. Some of you are still to respond to the poll. If you can do it quickly. Okay. Okay, so predominantly students, we do have parents and teachers in audience. Uh, just to get the kids, this is for the students to respond to this poll. It allows me to not very difficult, guys. If you can do it quickly. Okay, so predominantly students from class 10th, 11th, 12th, and there are some from class 9 as well. Thank you so much. Okay, so what's your expectation from today's session? And probably before we get into this, I want you to look at your screen. What you should all be seeing is 9 dots. Type I if you can see the 9 dots, and you have a piece of paper with you, pen and paper with you. If you can see the 9 dots and you have a piece of paper and pen with you, a writing instrument, type I. Okay, so let's get a little playful today, right, guys? I want you to cover the 9 dots using 4 lines without lifting your hand from the paper.
I want you to cover the 9 dots using 4 lines without lifting your hand from the paper. And for some of you are thinking I can create a loop. Loop will be an infinite number of lines, right? So 4 straight lines without lifting your hand from the paper. Type done if you have done it. Lovely. Keep this handy. We'll try and see it towards the end of the session, or I will request you to send it to me on my hand phone. So while others are doing it, I'm sharing my number with in the chat window. You can WhatsApp the image to me. Are you done? Do you need some more time? Tell me if you need time, or I'm coming out with the answers, guys. Quick. Okay, Bhuvnesh says, give me the answer.
Anyone needs more time?
Or we are done? Fantastic. Look at your screen, guys. What's your learning?
Very, very relevant. You know, I have been using this for a very long time. Not that I do not have other session openers, but I think from a career planning perspective, this is a fantastic activity. One, for most of us, it helps us understand that irrespective of what grade we are in, or what city or what country we are coming in, we are almost the same. Bearing a handful of single-digit number students, most of us actually were boxed while we were looking at the solution. And this is also very typical when we get to career planning. The whole process in which many of us or most of us approach career planning can be related to this activity. I would like to understand, what is your expectations from today? So when you're coming and attending a session on decoding career planning, what's your take? What is it you're expecting from today's session? Can you please type? 30 seconds. Oh, lovely. So your messages can only be seen by me and not others. Understanding career planning, okay. What should I choose to become a career? How do I become rich? Learn about new careers and think out of the box. Oh, that's nice.
what we can do in our career. You can probably help us, okay, to be able to differentiate between what I want to do and what I think I should do.
Okay. I think broadly, if you ask me,
the intention of today's session is to help students to think about their career futures and begin to develop their own plan to reach where they want. We are not necessarily going to talk about, okay, so thank you, Vikas, and everyone can hold on to it now. Got enough responses. While I will not touch about which are the career options that you have, today's session is more about understanding how do I go about career planning. What is career planning? If I'm choosing a career, am I secured or is it more? Career planning for me is lifelong process of managing your learning and work in an order to build your preferred futures. You know, when I'm calling it as a process and when I'm calling a lifelong process, it's not a single decision. Please understand, it's not a single decision that will suffice of how successful or how would you do in the future. It is a series of decisions, both big and small, that would help you move in the direction of the life that you want to. It would include decisions both on the type of jobs that you will do and the learning that you will engage in. Career planning broadly is about an individual's choice for occupation, organization, and career path. It is for all of you, it is going to be a process of a fulfilling future. And a means to enhance your value, both in the near future and in the long term. Let me know if I'm going fast or if I'm too slow. And if it's okay, type okay. Okay, so I need to press the accelerator. Fantastic. Thank you. Yep, done. Kinsuk, you will probably need to refer to the recording, or we will do this in the later in the session, right? So when you're looking at career planning, you need to understand it's an ongoing process. It will help you identify what are the skills, abilities, interests, values that you need to work on to have a fulfilling career or being prosperous. Now, when you're looking at career planning, there are largely 4 components that we need to build on. And if you can take a note of it.
It starts with your dreaming. Five-second, guys, and then we are back. I'm getting multiple requests. Okay, done. The first thing is the dreamer needs to come in. Imagine yourself in the future. Can you imagine yourself in the future in a positive way? Because unless you dream, unless you can think of it, it is very difficult for you to be where you are, where you want to be. The second is to explore the options available to you. Something that we keep doing from these sessions that you are attending. You know, the whole idea of these career sessions that we do is to essentially help you know what are the career options available to you. The third important leg to career planning is getting the right skills, knowledge, and those attributes which will help you succeed in that career. A lot of us engage in 1, 2, and 3. 1, we almost all of us do that. However, this whole process cannot complete unless you document your goals. Goals which are not documented are essentially intent statements. Goals that are not documented, goals that are not well documented are predominantly intent statements. For those who are asking, you know, how do I become rich? Please understand, becoming rich is an outcome of being successful. If you are successful in what you do, you would be rich. For those who want to understand if it's such a big deal, on an average, an adult spends around 31 years of his life, if not more, at his workplace. Your professional success, your happiness at work, to a large extent, will affect your personal life as well. Given that a large part of your life you're gonna, you're going to be at your workplace, can you really ignore or take it lightly? While many of us, while some of us are lucky and they know what they want to do and they end up doing what they want to do, it is not true for most of us. A large majority of people either do not invest sufficient time or because of which they either get into careers which might not commensurate with their abilities, or they get into wrong options.
if you actually look at around you, and there's so much of a talk about careers, new age careers. What is interesting is, when I was growing up, I find myself to be very lucky, because we had limited options. When I was growing up, uh, there was less to choose, and sometimes when you have less to choose from, the chances of you being confused are also lesser. The fact today is the top 10 careers that you saw in 2019 or you will see in 2021 probably did not exist a decade back. The rate at which the technology is making things happen is phenomenal. Some of the contemporary courses that are being offered to you at college are irrelevant in today's context. Similarly, a lot of careers that are or courses or degrees that are available today did not exist in past. A lot of curriculum is getting tweaked. For many of us who believe that technology takes away jobs, we haven't seen that ever. We haven't seen that every time there is an industrial revolution, we have seen that while the jobs do not shrink, in fact, they increase. What we have experienced is the different type of jobs come into play. Organizations are asking for very different skills today. While there are some areas where the jobs are shrinking, there are many others which are emerging. And this trend is going to continue. Skills that are relevant. I grew up in an era where maths and English became a very critical skill. My sense is, or if you look at research and if you look at all the talks around careers, a significantly large number of careers in the future will come from STEM, which is an acronym used for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. No way am I implying that all of you need to be science students. But what we are essentially saying is you will have to be using one of these 3, 4. When it comes to technology, you are either someone who's inventing or innovating a technology or creating a product, or you are using it. But none of you in this room who are at school right now can shy away from being around technology. Jobs in the future primarily will function out of 3 areas, 3, 4 broad areas, jobs would need additional skills to add to. The most in-demand career courses today or careers are multidisciplinary in nature, which means today technology and economics makes an awesome combination. So it's not about science, maths, and commerce living in silos. A lot of these are coming together. Computational finance, data science, analysts, they're not necessarily champions of a particular. innovation will become extremely important in times to come. In fact, it's as important as, and its importance will only go up. It is important that while you are improving on your knowledge of math, science, English, and other subjects, including humanities, right? You develop problem solving skills. This would be probably one of the most in-demand skills that will be required, or the preferred skill that will be required by the employers. I at once do not doubt the ability of the human potential. Each one of you in this room is super awesome. Each of you is a winner. The only question is, how soon would you reach where you want to reach? And I think between a successful and not so successful person, the parameters would be, how soon are you able to do it? Would you be able to reach the peak or probably settle in? If you plan, you will be able to probably have a more enriching, more satisfying and gratifying career. Than others who have not planned for it. These are the 5 things that you need to probably answer. And trust me, this is, in today's session, we are not necessarily covering every piece of it, but treat this as a trigger. Treat this as an introduction where you start thinking about it. What do I want to be? What are my strengths that will help me be where I am? What are my values that are looking at? For some of you who are looking at instant success, a lot of money, you might not choose a career which which probably or let me take a a different view other than money, which I think a lot of times we get myopic about it, right? If my predominant value is to help people succeed, my choice of careers will be very different from someone who says, I want to travel across the world. What are my interests? Your success in any job would predominantly be depending upon your ability to do a task, ability to learn a task, perform a task, and enjoy it. And once you're able to do these, you'll be successful. These 5 would largely define which are the set of careers that I will follow in. Predominantly a repetition of when I was talking about have a dream, search, get there, document. This is one of the most critical success factors for you to start your career planning. Can you sit down and write, what do I like?
when I engage with people?
What are the things that I'm more interested in? Which career would my interest, my values, and my personality fit in well? You might be able to do a few steps and might need help. Your parents, your teachers,
people around. I think there's enough and more
support system available around you. Your counselors at school. But one of the most critical success factors for you to succeed in your career planning and to do an honest career planning is to first understand about yourself. Identify your career options. Tanveen will take that question
towards the end.
You know, one is to understand who I am. The second now question is, what are my career options available? And I keep saying this to students. You know, if you do not understand what computational finance is, it is very unlikely that you will be interested in computational finance. So it is important that you expose yourself to a large variety of careers which are available within a area of interest. So I understand, you know, if you look at the total occupational standards available in India, it will be a few thousands. It's possible, probably not possible for you to go through all of them. But
once you're able to bucketize and say, this is the set of things that I'm looking at,
based on my interest, personality, values, then your bucket becomes much smaller. And then it's important that you are aware of what's available. You know, I am interested in finance, but I do not look at desk-based jobs. Do I have options? Or just because I do not know of options, which are not desk-based jobs, I will not get into finance. I'm looking at an intersection of technology and economics. It's absolutely fine to understand, you know, while I'm trying to become a rocket scientist, does it cater to my need for the kind of money that I'm looking at? When you enter the world of work, you will realize that some careers or some jobs start with a lower salary, but they grow up very fast as you progress. While some might start at a very high salary, but then they peak very quickly. One of the common examples for this is BPOs, you know, voice-based BPOs, where your starting salaries are very high, but you tend to peak very quickly. Vis-a-vis maybe a
job in a bank where you might start slow, but then you grow.
You grow significantly over the years. Once you know yourself, once you understand your career options, now is when you actually match
your career interests,
your personality, and with the options available. And please understand, when we're doing all of this, we are not necessarily pinning down and saying, I'm looking at a particular career. What I'm expecting you to do is to get a direction in which you will run. Most of you in this room, if not all, will need preparation. It would require you to set and define your education pathways. For someone who wants to study law and is in school, he needs to be aware that there is more than one education pathway. And he should understand the difference or the benefits of getting into either of them. So I can get into a 5-year integrated law program after my class 12, or I can do a graduation in any stream and then do a 3-year LLB program. Both have their pros and cons. And when you're choosing your education pathway, you need to be aware of it. To sum up, you need to actually sit down and do a SWOT analysis. You need to engage and understand what are your predominant personality traits. Do you enjoy working with people in groups, or do you prefer working alone? There is no right or wrong. These are individual choices. Based on the information and its fitment is you'll have to build. A plan for yourself and keep revisiting, keep reviewing your plans. Guys, that's largely from me. I am open for questions. I'll just look at the Q&A and then respond. How do you become a businessman? How do you become an entrepreneur? You become an entrepreneur. To be an entrepreneur, you need to have a strong strength either in a particular area of work or have a strong understanding of business and how it works. But predominantly, you need to have one. In the current domain, there is one specialization that you'll have to bring it on the table. Suveen asked me, I'm interested in a particular career. Okay. Okay. So, Sanmeen, I understand, and you're not alone what you need to understand. When I grew up, I wanted to be a pilot. As I grew further, I wanted to be a teacher and so on and so forth, right? A large part of what we want to do, it changes. Those frames keeps changing. And I was reading this report which says that most of you who are in school right now will probably be in 7 to 8 jobs. And 3 of them will be very different from each other, unlike most of us at this age do. So, I think most of these questions, when you're talking about a difference between you and the family, one premise you need to understand is they have every reason to be concerned and to stay invested in your well-being. Predominantly, most of the parents, in fact, all the parents, what they're looking at is you being successful, you being happy. What you will need to help them understand is whether is to help them understand what is the kind of scope that is available in that particular career, right? And and probably have conversations around it. And when you're talking about as diverse as makeup and stats honors, we need to probably understand it might not be an either or situation. We can also look at A and B. You know, when I was talking about 8 different jobs and 3 of very different types, I think you're qualifying right there. You can, there is, but from a, if you ask me from a, I think these are more, you need to get into more open conversations, more informed conversations. Given from my limited experience, I often find that while both the child and the parent are talking about or propagating a particular career, neither of them is backing with strong data. And the premise that a particular career is good does not necessarily mean I will be successful in that career. The fact is, you are unique, you are different, and based on your strengths, if you choose a career, you are more likely to be successful in. You know, it does not mean that a rocket scientist, if he chooses to become a cricketer, he'll be successful. Answer is no. And then if a cricketer chooses to become a rocket scientist, he can do that, or a successful cricketer wants to become a rocket scientist, he can become. No, both of them have very different strengths. And when they choose a career which is based on their strength, they get success. They reach greater heights, they get success early and with less effort. And that is what, you know, makes us a lot more happy, which keeps our motivation high, and something which a lot of us call as you know, we kind of enjoy the work, right? I am opening up giving the speaking rights to some of you. I would request you to, we will start with Suhaima, if I'm not pronouncing her name incorrectly. Suhaima, you have the speaking rights. You can go and talk now. You can ask your question.
Greetings, sir. Firstly, thank you so much for the wonderful session. Sir, my question was, you talked about what we like. We have to discover what we like and what we don't like. So how do I discover my passion? Because I don't see any liking in any of the careers for me personally.
Okay. How many careers are you aware of? Let's start with that.
I'm not aware of many careers.
Yes. So I think you know what we're trying to do right now is we are trying to find an instant noodle. I'm sorry, and you're not alone. You know, at your age, I think most of us behaved in the same fashion. Do I really understand what I'm chasing? Do I really understand what my strengths are? Right? And unless I understand, Suhaima, what my strengths are, what are my possible options available from a large bucket, it will always be a dilemma. And please understand what stage of this you are in. Are you skeptical that will I succeed in a particular career, or you are a little before that saying which one should I choose? I do not have many to choose from.
So my question is, I have a lot of careers to choose from. So which one will I succeed in? That is.
Can you list down your strengths, your interests, values, your goals, and confirm
which are those 3 or 4 careers where you have a higher degree of interest and which fits into your scheme of things.
Sir, I have a
Could that narrow?
Okay.
very high interest in biology, in fact, medicine, you might say.
Okay.
But in that, even in that, we have so many career choices. I'm mostly into. So that's the problem, sir. I don't know what I like and what I don't like.
So Hema, I
Yes,
will
sir.
share my email.
Yes, sir.
Unless you sit down and probably spend 3 hours in
Which class are you in?
10.
you're in class 10. So you got kind of sufficient time to mull over it, right? And if you're a CBSE student, you are being, given a good 30% leeway now by the CBSE.
I'm actually IGCSE student.
Okay. So can you actually try and understand? So biology is my strength, is what you said, right? Is that how you're approaching it?
Yes, it's not my strength, it's my liking, something that I like
Okay.
to study.
So when you say I like biology, what is it you mean? I score well and hence I like biology?
No, I like biology because I like the concepts in it, and I think, yeah, I like the concepts.
What else do you like and you do well in?
I like speaking, and I think I'm good at it.
Okay. So I like speaking, I'm good at biology. What else?
What else?
What are the other values that are important to me?
I think, like you talked about being successful, for me, making money is one of the most important things.
Money is one. What else?
No, give me some choices.
No, so if I look at personality traits, I can actually list down some 300 plus. Okay. So Suhema, what eventually
Is the case is each career, and this is relevant for all of us in this room, each career has a combination of aptitude, personality,
and values? Becoming a doctor is one. Becoming a surgeon is different from becoming a doctor. From an aptitude point, can you differentiate between the two? When I say that becoming a doctor and becoming a surgeon can be very different.
Yes, they are very different.
A doctor might not require very strong motor skills. A surgeon would.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is probably spend a little more
time in understanding. There are a lot of personality tests which are available online.
I've tried many of them, but I
So
haven't
start
reached any.
listing. So as I said, I might not have an answer over the next 2 minutes for you, but can you list down those? Can you share your personality, and list down a few values that you need, right? Uh, and then we can zero down on a set of careers from the given option.
I think I'm starting off from the very beginning, so I don't even know what my strengths are and my weaknesses are. Maybe.
I think this is an exhaustive process. So Hema, I will leave my email ID anyway. It's there from the invite that you've got. Let's do it outside this room because unfortunately the paucity, and there are questions that are very specific to Suhema that I would not probably ask in an open forum, right?
Okay, sir, sure.
Yeah. So just drop me a line and we can take the same conversation forward.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much.
Yep. Rhythm, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, Rhythm Agarwal. Did I pronounce your right name correctly? Hello? Not there. Jayant Ranjan Jha. Jayant, do you want to ask? I'm taking up a question from a Q&A section. Maybe I'm picking it from end of everything. We need money for survival, and we are not taught about it. We are not taught about how to get money. We need to learn what people want and what are the public demands through which we can bring up innovative ideas. The first time when the Bansals came up with selling books online, how many of you were convinced that it could make money? And to a point when they sold out to Walmart. Please understand, innovation is not, you can be taught creativity. We can teach how to think. Some of these are very individual characteristics. No, you're not taught how to make money. You are taught how to be
employable, how to have the skills which are in demand, right? So you don't need to worry too much about money. Yes, the direction that you get into,
I respect when somebody says money is important. Right? Now, money is important. Money is very important. Money is the priority.
Everyone in this room does not have the same position. Yeah, Jayant,
go ahead. Yeah, Rhythm.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Sorry, I was not able to speak at the time.
Yeah.
And first of all, thank you for the awesome session which I had.
Oh, my pleasure. I thought I was going very slow today.
No, yeah. Sir. And okay. Sir, I wanted to ask that I am a student of class 12 in the medical stream. So there are many options even after like doing NEET and then MBBS or like this. So what would be a preference after this? What should be a preference?
There is absolutely nothing called a universal preference rhythm, right? Now, when you're talking about I am a PCB student, I'm still keen to understand, do you have maths? You do not have maths.
I am having, sir. I am PCMB student.
So PCB with maths, PCB without maths opens up two different tracks.
PCMB.
So Rhythm, what we will do is I'm going to give you a structure right now. And then, as I said, my email is there with you. The invite that you got is from my email ID.
Yes,
or my email ID is there in that invite.
Okay,
as a student of biology, you have there are careers available to you in medicine or healthcare. There are careers in research. There are careers beyond research and medicine. What is important right now to understand is which are the careers that I'm looking at. I loved one of the doctors when he was explaining this a while back in one of our sessions, when he said that if you're choosing to get into medicine, do it only and only if you have interest and the stamina to study for the next 7-8 years at least. While a lot of us are swayed by the whole concept of contributing to the society and also look at the money that doctors have, what we'll also need to understand is probably doctors are the ones who study for the longest. Even for your common cold, most of us are today going to a gentleman who's an MD. You're talking about an education of nothing less than 7.5 to 8 years. And then a few years of work before he actually becomes who he is. So the point that I'm making is for someone who's looking at, starting his career very, very early, becoming a doctor might not be that correct. For someone who's looking at becoming rich on day zero, doctor is not the profession. But if I'm looking at someone, where I'm looking at contributing to a society, where I'm patient and I'm interested in doing a long haul, and I'm okay with staying invested in education, all of us know it's a fantastic career. Something that you can practice for very, very, very long. There are doctors who are practicing in their late 80s. While they might not continue to be surgeons, but then they continue to practice. So each of these careers will have their own advantages, right? What is important, Rhythm, here is to understand which of these fit into my scheme of things. There is nothing called a good career or a bad career. Which is that one career or a set of careers where I have a higher likelihood of succeeding? I think that's a question that we need to identify. That is the area that we need to understand and get to, right? I hope I've answered your question. You can use the chat window to answer. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So done. Jayant, last time, if you're around, you can ask the question. Or else I'm done, guys. Thank you so much. We've already 15 minutes more than the session duration. Anyone else has a question can raise their hands, or we're done for the day. Okay, so Jayant probably has some mic issues. Shrenika, if I'm getting the name correct. Shrenika, please go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Hi, yeah, good evening.
Sir, I'm from class 10. My name is Shrenika. Sir, I want to know that even if I know what I want to become, but sometimes it can be that whether am I that capable of doing that? See, we have two major streams like being a doctor and an engineer, but they both are totally very difficult, right? Even if we go in that stream, and when we literally work hard on because when we want to become a doctor, we have to really get into the best medical college like AIIMS in Delhi. It's very very difficult to crack the exam even. So am I even capable of doing that or not? Or am I just wasting time?
Very pertinent question. I respect what you're saying. I think I have a slight concern on the first part of your career. When you're saying we have two streams, engineering and medicine.
Major streams.
Two major streams, right? I'll probably contest that. To me, there are much more lucrative, in demand, promising tracks available outside of these two. And even when I take PCM, right, which is a so-called engineering track, trust me, there are careers which are based on mathematics, careers which are based on research are looking to be far more lucrative than engineering alone, right? So there are far more options available, and today to assume that for me to be successful, it has to be a science combination might not be true. I'm parking that question, that observation. But coming back to your question, yes, it's a thorough process. Let me give you another example. When someone is let's do it in an Indian context. When somebody is preparing for engineering, he's got two major exams to clear. He looks at JEE Mains, yes or no, and JEE Advanced.
Yes, sir.
In my mind, a smart student who's looking at engineering will review his probability or his preparation or his readiness at the end of class 11 to see whether he's gunning for JEE Mains or JEE Advanced. While the JEE Advanced route comes via JEE Mains. The two papers are very different. JEE Mains, which is designed or is designed or by CBSE. You know, I understand it's NTA now. It's very predictive in nature. So if I'm someone who's hardworking, I have my concepts in place, and I'm not, sure whether an IIT is what my probability for an IIT is high, I would probably do a lot of practice on JEE Mains and do a higher score. Stepping back again, what is more important to understand is if I become an engineer, or what kind of engineering should I do? And do I have it in me to be successful in that area? A lot of students who score well in mathematics or in a particular subject, in my understanding, will term it as their subject of strength. However, scoring high marks in a particular test need not mean, or if somebody is scoring 100 out of 100 in maths, does not mean that the person has very high numerical aptitude. What essentially I'm coming to is, if I do not have a very high numerical aptitude, choosing a career which requires numerical math aptitude all through might not be my choice. So first, let's go back and look at what is that one or set of careers which suits my strengths. What are my strengths? I think we need to observe, understand. If I can spend only 1 hour a week and still score 92 in history, vis-a-vis spending 10 hours on maths and scoring 98, my feeling is you're pretty good at history, because your investment to return ratio is far better, right? Most of the careers around, if you are doing well, you will succeed. But choosing a career which is in demand today is not necessarily a recipe of a success tomorrow. And that is the problem, if you look at why India has a very low employability rate. If you look at the world of work today, if you look at our higher education statistics, the problem in India today is not unemployment. While the current one is a little temporary because of the pandemic, we have an underemployment and an unemployability, which is a bigger challenge. We have more people working in organizations or in jobs which requires a lower education level than they are in. Or a large part of our graduates and postgraduates are not employed by the industry because they do not find them fit for the workplace, which is unemployability, right? So choose something which is based on your strengths. If it requires, honestly speaking, if you sit down with a pen and paper right now and you think in the next 30 minutes you will get an answer to the question, the probability is very low. Script your first or 2 attempts, drop me an email, and let's see where we take it from there, right? Can we move on?
Yes, sir. Sure. Thank you, sir.
Sabha, and that's the last one for today.
Hello, good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm good, Sabha.
Actually, I'm not a student, but rather a parent. If you don't mind me asking you a question as a parent, sir.
Sure, ma'am, please.
Actually, it was really interesting, and it has really helped me as a parent to guide my children more. After seeing your presentation and your talk, hearing to your talk, sir. Actually, one of my child is in grade 12th, and another one is in grade 9. So both are in that crucial stage when both have to ideally decide on a career path. And as a parent, I feel they are still too young, because whenever I leave it on them, they are still very confused about what they want to do in life. So as a parent, anything that can you just give me a piece of advice how we can guide our children more towards how can I help them analyze basically what's good for them, or what's the right career, because I feel engineering and MBBS is becoming very common. So I want something which is going to last another 50 years to come from now, any career, and wherein they'll be equally good wherever they are, irrespective in India or anywhere outside. That career should actually be beneficial to them in all over the world. Exactly. So how can I help them as a parent to identify their strengths and weaknesses?
Sure. I think,
thank you.
Yeah. So one, ma'am, the approach for the child in class 12 and class 9 will be very different. The one who's in class 12, the fact is you are at a point where you have to take a call.
Yes.
Right? Which means look at the academic performance of the student.
Okay.
No way am I saying that you do not have to look at his interest, his abilities, his values, what he's chasing, because that's where the child gets his motivation from.
Mm-hmm.
Please understand, end of the day, the workplace are so dynamic. You're saying 50 साल बाद क्या होना चाहिए, ma'am? Honestly, 5 साल बाद कौन सा career exist करेगा?
That is what true.
So, everyone keeps talking about data science, artificial intelligence. Ma'am, a couple of tweaks in the industry, and you might find that artificial intelligence is obsolete.
Mm-hmm.
My black and white TV lasted for a much longer than what my flat color TVs are these days. Right from LCD to LED to flat to big to small, right? So one, approach needs to be different. Second, do not try and fix a particular set of careers. Give them a direction. Okay. It needs to, their academic pursuits needs to have a direction, ma'am.
Okay.
The academic performance, I think I'm being repetitive, for the class student in class 12 needs
9 and 10
in consideration. No, for the 12th one, you have to keep his academic performance in mind while choosing a career, right?
Yes, sir. Because
you need to be a little more realistic, and the fact is, we do not have the luxury called time.
Yes, true.
Right? For the kid in class 9, I think get into those conversations, ma'am. Try and understand, give them a platform, talk to them about careers, and do not create a hierarchy of careers in careers.
Okay.
What we often do that, ma'am, when I was growing up, right, becoming doing hotel management was a choice where you are a duffer. I'm
yes.
Sorry if I'm using the language, or you are insane. And then came Sanjeev Kapoor, ma'am. And honestly speaking, my mom has almost everything that man makes, right? And look at becoming a chef.
Yes.
Right? Aren't they the role models? Do they make less money? Is there less repute? So yes. Anything that our children will do, which they are good at, if our children can be in the top 5% of what they do, ma'am, they will be extremely successful.
Yes.
Irrespective of what field they get into.
Yes.
If we try and put them into careers which we think are safe careers, there are no safe careers.
Okay.
Computer science is not safe. Doctors will remain. Do all doctors make money? Answer is no.
Yes.
Right?
True.
Some of them make, a lot many don't. we generally tend to look at some of the successful ones. You know, while Narayan Murthy and the whole generation or a set of people in that, in my generation did well, and that was the motivation for my parents to send me to engineering. It might not be the case right now. We know there are more engineers which are unemployed, and,
Yes.
and there are enough number of, you know, just like we see a lot of people dropping out and become successful, doesn't mean that we'll tell our students not to go to school or college. 70% of the jobs would require a college degree, to say the least. So I think get into those conversations, try and understand what the kid is good at. I will try and share a format with you that will probably give you a structure to how to identify your strengths. I'll share a small workbook.
Thank you. That will be
Use
really
that, and you can write back. Just allow me some time to probably to review and come back, but use that as a template. Get into very honest conversations. I think you know, as long as you don't bring in your biases and the kid doesn't bring in his own set of preconceived notions about good and bad, you know, I think you know, these are very, very doable conversations. It's just that you'll also need to update.
Yes, sir. That's what, you know, because sometimes I feel that we are only not aware, you know, of the career options. And then, you know, ideally, like, okay, I'm not pressurizing them, but at the same time, like you said, you know, we want them to choose safe careers, you know.
So जब हम बच्चे को बोलते हैं मैम कि आप चूज करो, आपको क्या करना है, आपको छूट है, and you can choose as you wish. उसका प्रॉब्लम ये है कि उसको एक स्ट्रक्चर चाहिए सोचने के लिए.
हाँ जी, राइट.
वो मैच्योरिटी उस बच्चे में नहीं है, वो हमें लानी पड़ेगी.
जी.
राइट, वो एज स्कूल हमें लानी पड़ेगी, एज पेरेंट हमें लानी पड़ेगी. ये स्कूल आपका और बच्चे का तीनों का काम होगा मैम.
ओके.
सो अगर आप इसको आउटसोर्स कर रहे हैं स्कूल को या एक काउंसलर को या एक स्कूल के करियर एडवाइजर को या बच्चे को, तो वो नहीं होगा. हमने बच्चों को इतने स्ट्रॉन्ग मॉडल्स दे रखे हैं कि आप मेहनत करोगे तो कुछ भी कर लोगे
जी.
मैम, मुझे उसमें कोई तकलीफ नहीं है, पर अगर आप एग्जाम से एक महीना पहले अपने बच्चे को कहते हो कि आप मेहनत करोगे तो सब कुछ कर लोगे, आप उसको मोटिवेट कर रहे हो, बट यू डोंट नेसेसरली मीन. और ये जब हम बोलते हैं तो हमें मालूम होता है कि हम किसको बोल रहे हैं.
जी.
You know, my report card says can do better. Now I understand when it means, when it says could have done better. Right? They were just trying to be kind to me. So thank you so much, everyone. I hope it was worth your time. And that's it. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you for the enlightening session. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Which city are you from?
Actually, right now I'm in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and we'll be soon coming down to India, actually. So, you know, I'm very apprehensive, you know, because they have done their schooling here and then now coming to a new place and then, you know, further studies over there. So, which I feel I'm not much aware of, you know, the systems also over there. So, I really need this.
Hamare apprehension, the kids today are much smarter than we were. And we need to acknowledge and genuinely just have faith in them. They are amazing. The kids today are super awesome. It's just that a little more direction, right? They'll do well. They'll do awesome.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Pleasure. Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.